Part two, before we get into a few emails and tweets and all that sort of business. We haven't done any interactive stuff, Matt. Yeah, so it's,
I've got a few tweets from people lined up.
Okay,
here.
perfect. All right, great, good work. Quick comments about Melbourne boys. Press statement. Hugh Bowman.
Caulfield curse is broken.
Yeah.
Hugh Bowman just freak.
Yeah.
Well, he just, I said, you know, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know what to do.
It's the right play. Like if you've got the best horse on the race, you can either go forward or back. You just go forward.
Yeah.
Every time.
And I was querying the fact that I thought it was sluggish in Stan Fox, but then after the race I go, of course it wasn't, you know, he backed off it after the Golden Rose. Like it was sluggish in Stan Fox because it needed the run.
Yeah. But it's still even though it might have been.
How was it 20s at Canberra?
Yeah, that's first up. It's
First up.
That was the
first
it was
time.
pretty well hidden in trials.
But how didn't it was in some stable support? How wasn't it 20s and the 10s?
Yeah.
How wasn't it Kenner?
They don't know. Like even Kermanek was a bit of a price, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Come here.
At Warwick Farm when it debuted.
Yeah.
They just don't.
But they just go through the.
No, they
the
know.
stable
They all know. Like,
was a tip
like
for it.
Liam Pryor and Waller. They know that the horse isn't 100%. And they know it's got some ability, but that's not enough to like. It hasn't won a private jump out by 5 for them to all.
What are these
unload
private
on.
jump outs?
I'm sure. It's
Wallaby.
Yeah, no, they have them at Randwick too.
Rose Hill's got jump outs.
Yeah,
and
they
jump
have.
outs.
Keep that
Kembla's
dark.
immutable.
Yeah, no, they have.
Yeah, but
You get them, don't you?
Yeah, Canberra actually publicised the jump outs.
Doesn't suit you?
No, it's good.
Okay, you don't want.
You know, well, if they're going to do it, I'd want to know about it.
It just shows like there's all this bullshit rumour that only people in the game know what's a good horse and what to back. It's so not true.
No, it's so not true.
That's a very good point, man.
Everyone always says you can't win unless you're in the know. Well, I know everyone. I know people that ride the horses. They can't get it right sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard work being a punter.
Oh, it's the hardest.
You know, it's
Work
quite
hard.
easy being a tipster. It's very
I
hard
go to the
being
Cubby
a
House, I
punter.
drink with Abdullah, but I have a coffee in the morning with Bjorn Baker, and I never win on a horse that he rides, and I never win on a horse he trains.
Yeah.
I mean, never.
Yeah.
Never.
Ever.
Like, ever.
Well, so
And then
why don't
if
you
I
just
make
lay
one
them
of
all-
Bjorn Baker's horses, he comes in with it, I say, looks great, Bjorn. He goes, oh yeah, I'll have a few on, I'll put a few on more for me, and I'll put his on. Distanced.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so...
You missed him before.
He's
No,
very
no more-
hidden.
no-
He's very hidden.
No more tap-outers.
Bjorn.
Course
Yeah.
off.
Medication.
Course off.
Lovely.
He's torture.
Um,
But he's a champion bloke.
Back to Melbourne, I think I got very excited early in the day. I noticed Paddy Davies, someone retweeted, Paddy Davies is a clerk down in Melbourne that I know, and someone retweeted 10 minutes before Lankan Rupee
Yes.
ran that bookies were way ahead of the fair laying this horse. What's going on? I've never seen this before.
Wow. They got it right. So they were betting like $1.50. It was trading $1.46 something.
Yeah, they were ahead of the fair.
5 cents ahead of it.
Interesting.
But I think maybe it's a bit of a feel, wasn't it? I've done my balls on this horse year in, year out. This is my chance to get something back, maybe. Bookies do. I mean, I chase things like I can't always
I
say.
think
Yeah,
it's-
you're waiting for
you
Black
went and you
Caviar,
didn't lay it.
Yeah, I'd get Black Caviar. Who is she?
Yeah.
Couldn't go. Moved back. Did she ever get beat? No.
Yeah.
I'm tagging on. I'm tagging
Couldn't go.
I'm tagging on. I'd own the Harbour Bridge if I'm tagging on. I go, yeah, I'll buy the Harbour Bridge. Fucking now I
And
sleep
put a
under
horseshoe
it.
pull on it.
Now I sleep under it.
Hugh Bowman was probably even better on Amrala. Missing the
And
start.
Varsho, he was like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
how hungry was that win?
He looks hungry on it.
Oh my god, like he was done and dusted, and he went, no, fuck this. Oh.
There it was. I watched it win.
And then the Amrala ride was just perfect, you know. Bad situation to start with, didn't make that bad situation worse. Wade went round them, but the thing I really loved about it when he's gone around them, he's got to the 600 or wherever it was, he's pushed the button and said, right, we're going.
Yeah.
And you know, like not
Looks
cuddle, wait from no.
Is it a Cup source,
Oh, yeah.
Aaron?
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, that's your contribution to the show. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. It
All right.
was way
There we
back.
go.
It was
We've got
way back.
email. TD's unhappy with me.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll talk about Liam. We woke up this morning to most of our top trainers calling RVL to change their policy to avoid hard tracks. I know you guys think it's a
What's their,
furphy.
what is their policy? Isn't their policy watering?
Well,
it used to be try and present a
dead
4 or
four,
a 5.
but they
But
dropped
they've
off
changed
that, didn't they?
No, they've changed the scale so they can have a 4 now and call it good. That's what they did.
Yeah. And jockeys say it's an issue. Shouldn't we listen to them once? They can't be all wrong, can they? Well, I think Matt might have just said it before. Not everybody knows what a good horse is. Maybe not everybody you know, put down.
Knows what the drag is.
Yeah.
One thing Bjorn actually says is like when they call the races off for these really wet tracks, he goes, the more dangerous tracks are the real hard tracks for horses. He goes, he has more horses pull up sore, break down, pull up lane on hard tracks than ever doing a heavy track.
Well, Robbie's article.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, look, there's conflicting opinions on that.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I thought if anyone's blaming the hard track for the
What,
horse they
beforehand?
backed on
Beforehand?
Saturday for losing, after the race, I would just say a couple of form lines got found out and a couple of better horses won race. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
You
not,
seem to be a lot more fresher with your views. You know what I've noticed since you've been staying home on Saturday and working from home from the comfort of the lounge.
Yeah.
You get a better perspective
Yeah,
of
you
staying
do.
cool. Whereas out there, you're bumping an old mate with a
Oh,
beer
yeah.
and you want to fight. I only had another fight.
You know, he's been sacked from the Melbourne preview show as well.
He got sacked.
yeah, I got sacked.
Yeah.
I told you, Steve.
Yeah.
The sackies never stop in this joint. They brushed me years ago.
Yeah, I'm paid per view.
Yeah, but he
as well.
actually got sacked from 2 preview shows. You only got sacked from 1.
We used to do 2 preview shows.
No, because
No.
he does the
It's,
Melbourne with Darren Potter.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, Darren's doing a show down there, but
wouldn't
there's
know.
a few trainers saying
Darren's
the track
gone to Melbourne.
was too hard on Saturday, so look, I obviously don't know. I didn't walk the track, and
Yeah,
just did.
You
but
walk the track, will be also.
Oh,
Yeah,
Randwick was very hard.
we're in
It was
Australia,
great.
and it's
But-
hot. Sometimes,
But
tracks
the
are hard.
point I make about Randwick though too is it was good 3 throughout, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was never a good 3. It was a good 2.
Oh.
Casino Dancer has almost run a track record over a
Yeah.
mile.
Yeah.
I wish he had have.
Yeah.
How funny
That
would
would
that
be
be?
Casino Dancer.
Casino
Not
Dancer
just
track
any
record.
track record. I mean, he's there.
Was it a mile?
It's the mile. There's not many more famous distances than the Randwick mile. is
Just
it?
got in front of Superimpose.
It's just free
Did you
avenue.
go
And
and
he was up
paint the colours on the statues.
Yeah.
Yeah, Livingstone. What was the good one John Size had as well? There was a good model he had too.
Georgie boy.
The Fire. There's
The
another
Fire.
Georgie boy. He was a good Georgie. Georgie boy.
Knickerbocker kid or whatever.
Poor old Georgie boy. He couldn't walk for 3 years, and Size got to win 8 races.
Yeah.
He was the best.
You know why it wasn't a 2?
Why?
Well, because under the new scale, it's got to be firm 2.
Yeah, firm to
You
exactly.
will never
Yeah.
ever see
Yeah.
a 2 in
Yeah.
Sydney.
No, that's
because
right, yeah.
that is anathema. That is just like
Yeah.
I don't even know what an
My
anathema
God.
is. What's an anathema mean?
it's the
Paul-
most detested thing.
Paul Daly was able to tweet it after race 1 or
Yeah.
2 that his numbers are saying this is a firm,
Yeah.
but the stewards
No.
they don't have access to that, so they don't know.
No.
Yeah,
They're
but
not-
well, they probably do follow.
yeah.
But they no, they don't. Like,
But then again, after race 2, when the benchmark 70 fillies have run 0.6 of a second outside the track record, it's
Why
probably
don't you just do it?
that's probably a little bit quick for them.
No, Canada's a superstar.
Oh, Canada's a superstar.
No way.
Okay. Nicole, Teen Queen.
You should give it to me, couldn't you?
Can Glenn explain what was meant by his rant aimed at Joe Marrero on last week's show?
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned that he was yelling abuse to Marrero to the effect that he's only been riding against trannies. He mentioned it at least 5 or 6 times. Unlike Glenn to make a point and keep mentioning it, is it, Teen
Did I
Queen?
mention it many times?
Yeah. Have you had any luck with Brendan Abdallah? Or?
Yeah, I was.
Triple.
It seemed to me that he was trying to make a point about Marrera's riding ability in Australia compared to where he usually rides.
Yeah.
Was it meant to be abusive? If so, why were trannies used as the comparison?
Yes.
Glenn has always been such an ally to transgender people.
And still am.
However, am I now to believe that let loose in mainstream society in front of bigoted and pissed younger conservative people that mostly attend the races, he dumps on us like every other gutless bigot?
That's
What's going on?
Mean. Well, Teen Queen. When I said he rides against trannies, what I meant by that, and if it is bigoted, well, starters, it was a joke, but that's all right. I know you're like he. To me, a tranny is like a weaker.
You're thinking like a
Weaker
lady.
male.
A weaker male or of the species. Like they do seem. I haven't seen any big muscular trannies.
oh, you just not been looking.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, maybe I'm ignorant. But to my mind, they just seem... What? Am I making this worse?
Maybe I'm ignorant. When Dallas is lost.
Yeah.
Well, I am a bit
dear.
ignorant, so it was just...
Maybe I have
It was
luck
an
with women.
off-the-cuff comment, and it was meant to be, like, entertaining, but it probably didn't make you terribly happy. I can see that, because I know how you stand on this, but I am... it's just like when I say I'm racist, even though I'm not racist at all. It's a joke. I mean, I hate chows, I hate wolves. I know I do hate them.
Yeah, but I'm not racist.
But I'm not really racist.
But I'm not ignorant.
I think I'm a little bit more superior than them. Is that racist?
That's what Hitler thought.
yeah.
Well, I do think that though. Don't you think that? Don't you look at an Asian person and go, "You got no fucking idea compared to me"? Don't you think like that? I do.
Well, when you're at the home
Not
ground,
Chinese.
yeah. But when you go to Hong Kong,
But this is just my thoughts. But look, it was a go at Joe Marira, not at trainees, and it was just like when you. Team Q, I tell you what, I've been on this show 5 years and you're shooting your mouth and you're trying to make it entertaining, you give it to people, and you're going to get some people offside
You
all
don't
the
try to
time.
make it entertaining. You don't try.
I'm not trying, but I'm just saying, like, if I've upset you, I apologise, and I have got nothing against trainees or transgender people. In fact, I like all of them. I like everyone that's a nice person as long as they're Australian. But I'm not racist. You know what I mean, Team Q.
All right, do we keep going?
Yeah, she did sort of.
Oh, she gave me another one.
No, well, she said further to yesterday's email, I've had to reread it after considering that it may have been a bit over the top for what it was.
Life's dangerous in print, TQ, but I could see you typing away.
But no, it's appropriate, I think, for what was said.
So you're just taking it back that you thought...
She was going to take it back, but she decided, no, I'm not retracting, I'm in.
Got a lot to him.
Yeah, it's just that I don't want to give the impression that I suddenly hate Glenn or that I'm so fragile or the transgender people are fragile that we can't take a joke.
I know you don't hate me and I know there's no drama.
It's just that this isn't a joke and it's using a very marginalised group of people to attempt to put somebody else down. Mm-hmm. And although what Glenn said only just falls into this category as far as I'm concerned, I had to question myself the same as Glenn did about greyhound racing. At what point I say something and what point did I let it go? So there's Glenn. And she went on a bit with that as
But
well.
she said it's the same as Adam Good's 13-year-old Girls Association. Where I vehemently agree with Goods' actions. Well, I completely disagree with you. I think it was one of the greatest disgraces of all time, and the country's proven that by just booing the turd out of him when we just cheered Jonathan Thurston the whole way of the grand final.
Yeah.
We love Greg Inglis, they're all black, that word, and we like them, but Adam Good's pointing the figure in a 13-year-old was a disgrace. And I disagree with you totally there, but that's a good thing too, because we can't agree on everything.
And Glenn's greyhound racing point, which I totally disagree with.
Okay, but it's just an opinion.
Yeah.
Fucking who gives a shit? It was a dead bird quivering on the side as I walked to my car. I did the right thing. I kicked it into the gutter. On the way here tonight. Well, it was just a little bit off, and there was this woman going, "Oh, look at this." I said, "Love, you're not taking the fucking vid. You're acting like you care. I'll show you what I'm going to do with it." I kicked it. I did, but I didn't stomp on it. And that's where I'm a little bit behind.
I would have thought a good, quick,
I'm surprised you agree. I'm surprised TQ
You gave it one last
I'm
kick.
surprised you thinks that Adam Goods was in the right there, because that is I find that unusual.
Well,
I think a 13-year-old girl was wrong.
Dylan said a trainer should know that the horse has the right level and ability. This is onto the wet tracks and also to cope on ground. Don't blame the track after the fact. All the talk was how good did Alpha Miss try, how Alpha Miss had trialled, but maybe Lankan Rupee was trialling bad. Obvious that very astute punters knew more than the trainers of those very good horses.
Alpha Miss stable change, was it?
Yeah. Gary Nixon to Robert Smyrna.
And it trialled better than Lankan Rupee in the same heat.
You'd said that.
In the same heat?
Yeah, the same heat. I said it. I said it the day, a month ago.
So you
whenever.
said that, and you still got sacked from the Melbourne preview show. How are we travelling? We must have some really good judges out there.
Yeah,
Potts and Juppie at the track.
Do I am?
Anthony at the
Have I met him? I think I have.
Yeah.
Just believe your eyes. Believe your eyes. It was there to see, and people decided $7 or $8 Alpha Miss was a good.
And $1.45 the other one.
Yeah.
And there it was.
Mm-hmm. I think Jake might have sent this out from One to Follow. Wanted thoughts on Damien Brown, and the response was pretty positive for Damien Brown. Horses travel and he's tactically astute. One of the best in Australia, and it was Danny Jackson who said better than T. Berry and Corey Brown.
Better than T. Berry and Corey Brown.
What sort of a statement is
What
that?
sort of statement is that? That's like saying,
I
Tiger's got a little bit on me on the golf course.
Yeah, well, actually,
The only reason Damien Brown's going to stay an absolute champion is he rides in Queensland. I don't bet there, but if I started backing him,
You know what happened.
fucking
He'd be out of
torture.
his-
He'd be out of his career.
Yeah.
But he's an absolute freak. He might be the best country in Australia, best jockey in Australia.
It's right up there.
He's right up there.
all right, fair
But
enough.
he does stay in his little small pool.
We disagreed on something.
We agree on it.
Yeah.
He's a good rider, isn't he?
Agreed on it.
All right, Aaron, he's just done the dry behind the ears with it now. You're coming good, mate. After fucking 3 years of putting on you.
Dave has said, hi guys, looking to the VRC Derby, has Schopenhauer at good odds have any hope after 2 good runs behind Ambience? Distance looks ideal.
Does look a bit ideal. It's a nice chance.
Look, Ambience would have won the Flight Stakes.
Easily.
Really? Well. I don't know. I know our man John Walters tipping one in Melbourne, one bro or something like that. It's in the Derby, so I don't know much about that.
What was the John Sargent?
No.
It's not that bro. It's not
One of those bros?
not that bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and from General, the Matt Harden article, what's that about?
Matt wrote a
Was that your second name?
No,
No.
it's about Hartnell.
Read an article on Hartnell and
Matt
got a few
Hartnell.
different opinions from
Yeah.
people, and
No, it was good.
just the weird prep it's had, like where it's at, and wanted to get everyone's. I thought it was going to come back and have the Cox Plate or the Caulfield Cup at its mercy, but
Where is it?
well, I think it's going to the Cox Plate.
Okay.
Is it
Third up,
Only
third up.
because only because it's a stallion making race.
And press statement, is it going to the Cox Plate?
I think they're
20%
Winks,
chance.
is it going to Cox Plate?
Winks.
Apparently, yes.
Well,
I'm
it's-
hearing press statement, no way.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, who are you hearing of?
People.
I've got
Oh, mate.
Winks. Winks is a good one for the Cox Plate. I think it's second favourite. I couldn't understand that.
What, no hope?
Oh, you give me
I'm
a
saying
no.
no.
Okay. It's a big
Why
step.
say no?
Cox Plate, you're off the bid at 1,000. It's never done that in its career.
No, it's going to have to do something it hasn't done before.
It's like it's a completely different race. This thing is a great miler. Great milers don't win your 2,000 metre weight for age.
Unless you're cold diesel. No, you won the Caulfield Cup.
Cold diesel on the Caulfield
There
Cup.
it was. That's the end of part two. It's been pretty exciting with Aaron.
Part 3 of the Punters show, looking towards the week ahead. Caulfield Cup week.
Yeah,
Always exciting week.
it is.
Warwick Farm and
I
Caulfield.
don't rate Caulfield Cup Day. You know, I used to rate Caulfield Cup Day. Caulfield Cup Day of my youth was
Yeah.
fantastic. It's sort of...
It's not as good as day one.
Can I
No.
just say something? Every race day of your youth would have been better than what it is now.
Yeah.
That's a good point, but I'm saying relatively.
It is a fair point because I remember, say, 25 years ago, you and me did the ring and you'd have old mates, all the old mates there, and they go, not as good as the old days.
Yeah.
And we go, oh, really? Was it that much
Yeah,
better?
yeah.
And we had like
They're
70
all
bookies
always
there,
misty-eyed, yeah.
all each way, different rings, money
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
You
we
buy
go,
anybody.
what are you talking about,
This
bro?
is no good, is it? This is no
Yeah.
good. And now,
Yeah.
we're out there like with a dry Sayo biscuit, paying $11 for a sandwich.
Yeah.
Everyone's broke, and you look forward to seeing Para.
Yeah.
It's tough going.
Can we get him on the show?
Para, got to go on the show. It's medication time, Para. Well, he's on the medication already.
Yeah.
You show us how to take it.
What's he on? The Cobalt.
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 I
Cobalt.
think I'll give you now.
Co-
Oh, great.
what does he call it?
I'll make it.
Cold bolt.
Cold bolt.
Cold bolt. Yeah.
Cold bolt.
Cold bolt. So what Caulfield Cup week, Darren will be doing a set for Wednesday, Matt, for sure.
Oh, can I just
Okay.
say that I think wish they'd stick the 1,000 guineas back on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
It really just
It does-
doesn't happen on
It
the
doesn't
Saturday.
need to be there. You don't need 10
No.
races, and yeah.
Are you working there or is Robbie going?
Robbie's going. I'm a bit worried.
It's a long day for you if you went down for 10 races. Wow.
10 races. Yeah. I know why they do it, but it just seems it just doesn't add anything to the day, I don't think, and
Well, it just gets lost in
Yeah,
that day.
it does,
That's how
it does.
is.
it does.
Here's one question on social media. You guys would maybe able to answer. Luke Bevo said he thought that the new weight scale may have affected some results on Saturday. Once again, a couple of weeks in, are you guys seeing
A lot of
anything?
the lightweight horses did win, didn't they?
Music Magnate.
Well, it's interesting with those results with all those different type of trainers that
Yeah.
coincidental the new weight scale.
Yeah.
The new
I
weight
don't know,
scale
it's
is
mid.
pretty funny because
It's promising.
a
It's
lot of
very
horses
high.
are really
Big
getting
drop,
birds
yeah.
on 61.5 and
Still
62
down.
kilos on the Thursdays, but the limit down the bottom, the lightest weight horse got 58.5. And they go, oh, look, then the filthy race callers, no matter, I mean, they're all filthy, they go, oh, it's carried the big embossed on 62 kilos, it's 3 kilos over the limit.
Yeah.
Can we just get back to calling the horses? What is going on?
Well, they still struggle.
Hong Kong
with that.
Darren is the worst offender.
Oh, and what about doing the replays though? When you've been tortured on the race, Abdullah's just rear-ended you, and you're watching this most perfect ride, and then you, oh, fucking bring back the Craig.
Luke,
They didn't know anything.
That's what you wanted.
Luke also said the coming of age of Music Magnate just gets him a little bit excited about the future for a horse called Gold 77. He used to
Oh,
say-
yeah,
Is
yeah.
it still alive?
Still
Where is
alive.
it?
I heard
It's
about
been-
6 months ago the trainer saying it's on progress to return. So,
That's good. 6
Well, but
months.
something
months
serious
ago,
must
yeah.
have gone wrong because it hasn't raced since January.
or
Yeah.
maybe no, it would have been when Music Magnate was running around. So was that 3 months ago?
In the
It's-
autumn.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
back. Oh, good horse.
Good horse, I agree. My numbness has come back in my arm, Dale, so it could be off again.
Yeah, it could be. It doesn't.
Uh,
it doesn't.
It doesn't go away straight away.
Well,
No,
just
no,
on
no,
that,
no.
what are we saying about First Seal? Because he used to beat up on Wing.
Will First
I've
Seal
got
ever race
theory on
again?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
it will.
Oh.
It's back.
How come it's not out of paddock being put to already out's choice?
Because they want to bring it back in races still.
Oh,
Unfinished
Winks has obviously grown.
Well, I always saw First Seal was the bigger girl. She's like the
It's amazing
the
what
Polynesian
First Seal
at school.
bubble burst once they took Shin off for one ride, which she still rode it well.
And she had a big thing in her foot, the size of my palm.
Shin soreness will get you every time.
Yeah.
Shin cancer.
No, I got the shin.
Shin cancer might get you
Dirty,
though.
filthy shit.
Craig Knott, he wanted to know, ask you, Glenn, when did the sickness begin? And he goes, by sickness, that's not a negative term. He loves you.
The sickness. What do you? Oh,
Oh,
the
the
punt.
The punts, yeah.
Oh, year 11 went the races. I was looking.
1979, isn't it?
It's 1979. Yes, well done, mate. Good dates. And I went the races in the school holidays and didn't know much about it. Went out there and I saw Wildress Frank and Guy Burnham together with Chris Hickey when he was still alive in the pack, and they just had big bundles of 50s and they were putting money on for themselves and Ross Evans and that. And I didn't know who any of those names were. In fact, I didn't know who Wildress Frank. And I remember looking at Guy and Frank and just thinking,
Wow.
I just want to be out here with those blokes.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to school anymore. So I finished school and went. All my mates went to schoolies, and I went out the track for 2 weeks to see if I could get a bank, and I fucking never left.
Back in the old days, people used to get lured by the circus. They'd go to the circus, and they'd run off and join the circus. And it's a bit like that.
I saw Frank and Guy Burnham in the ring in 1979 with Chris Hickey dragging on a cigarette, and they were so cool, and they were had so much cash on them, and they talked at a certain lingo, and I stood near them, and I was fucking in awe. It was like I was looking at movie stars to me, and now like we're all mates and that, blah blah blah. I asked Guy for a job in about 1981. I went out to the Trots, asked for a job, and on the ground or something, can you give me a job, give me a start? And he said, oh no mate, I think he looked at me how I look at Aaron, like you're a fucking idiot. And he all these 35, 30, so that's how it started.
He's not a lot
It was,
older than you, is he? Guy Burnham's not really.
he's in his 60s. I think he's 60 guy, but he doesn't look anything.
No,
He
he's
looks-
got that Scandinavian.
He's got the early. He looks 8 years younger than he is, and he acts 20 years younger than he is. And he's a bit like me. If Ashille's over 30, he asks questions, but not you haven't got a chance in hell of getting a run with me like this. It's just like he's gonna never be an old man. But I was in awe of those blokes. And that's what it dragged me in. Like you said, I ran off with the circus. And how wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I could go surfing for 2 weeks in schoolies in those days. You used to go to Wombrel. In a beaten up combi with all your mates, and I was a pretend surfer. What I mean by that is I could surf, but when it got above 4 foot, so if it was like 6 or 8 foot, I was the best boy you'd ever see. I was out the back going, "Woo, yeah, good day, boys." I fucking wouldn't go down and anything. No way.
You do right.
I was shit scared.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, but all my mates never knew I caught a wave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a good day surfing, boys. Yeah. I never got a fucking wave.
Yeah.
I was too scared. I was scared of sharks.
Another good story from G-Pilot.
Oh, it was Guy and Frank and Chris Hickey, and then Chris is dead. Been dead 20 years.
Dead for
Chris.
ages, yeah.
No one even knows. Anyway, weird.
All right. Horses to follow, anyone?
Tatush.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
you-
two
3 runs
half
time,
brother,
mate.
the 2-year-old, my first Conchita.
Yeah.
Looks like they put
Cana.
muscles.
Cana. There's for those of you who aren't religious, there was a wedding feast in the Bible at Cana, and that's what the horse is named after.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
great.
And no wonder it
Everyone else-
completely stripped me on Saturday.
Yeah.
Everyone else is saying
God.
Cana or Cana.
Yeah, got me again.
Yeah, God's got us again.
Yeah.
It was the
Been
one
good
where,
to me lately,
where
God. Thanks,
Jesus
mate.
turned the water into wine.
Do you think he really did do that?
No, he just drank all the wine himself.
Do you reckon he walked on the water? I mean, I know that magician can, but that's still got to be tricked out. What's his name? David Blaine? One of those
David
magicians.
Copperfield.
Blaine Copperfield.
They walk on water.
Anyway, let's go horses to
I've got a
follow.
horse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Hellbent. It come from the midweek.
Here we go.
Hang on,
Yeah.
you touted that on the show.
Yeah, you
previous show
did.
as
You're
well.
recycling your stars
Yeah.
already.
Fucking hell.
Hellbent.
Get some new work.
Yeah, how about we go?
I thought the 2-year-old went well. Conchita, I really thought he did a good job, even with Thomas Hugh Ace winning. I was
What's
impressed.
going on?
Emperor Crookie
Is it okay?
tweeted straight after that
Oh,
race,
okay.
these are legless.
Did he really?
I was a big fan.
Okay.
Was it? I only got it in the reflection.
All right, Slaughter. What do you got any slaughters, boys?
Got heaps of slaughters.
Do we? Beautiful. Who we got?
Can I announce the slaughter record?
Well, there's people over here.
Yeah, I know
from
there's
America
people.
related.
Profile.
Yeah.
Maybe
okay.
just whisper it. I'll cover.
All right, just 1 second, go.
It's time for Slaughter of the Quarter.
Brought to you by lovely little Chinese Dave and Teen Queen. Now I'm going to put Teen in there as well.
Teen
I'm going
Queen.
to sweeten up the pot with Teen. Or Nurse Ratchet, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
Is it Ratchet?
Ratchet.
Yeah, Nurse Ratchet.
Give us some medication, please.
Boys, we need it.
We've got to have Glenn Bamborough.
Oh,
he slaughtered them
straight
one?
in.
Yeah.
We'll give him one. It was a Group 1.
Ryan
Yeah,
Roberts.
and
I
then
know
we-
Ryan Roberts, his manager, but Yeah,
And then he
good
was
on him.
3 deep,
Money in the
three
bank.
deep without cover in the following 2 fast run races.
Hello, mate.
You can win a Group 1, you're going to get no love
He gets
here.
3 points. Brown.
Oh, he's off! He's off!
Live on TV.
Sorry.
I know it's a horrible.
Thank God the Nokia wasn't damaged
Was
for
that
15 years.
Did you stop short?
Sorry. Oh, did I grab you there, right? Sorry,
You
mate.
the boobs.
That's George Costanza.
Sorry, mate.
George Costanza's dad was the old boob.
I was
Stop short.
gone.
Yeah.
I was gone on live TV. Because I had the dead arm too, not to save me as well. But
Yeah.
Yeah, Brown's got to get 2 points.
Oh, Brown's 3 points. Just
Well,
just turning up.
Just turning up. And
What? And I got to say one thing. He did ride Friday night in Singapore,
Oh, right. That,
and then you get on the plane. How do you want to employ a jockey?
Yeah.
It's been riding in Singapore. It's 47
Blame
degrees.
the connections.
Mm.
You're an owner.
I-
You can't. You got the choice.
When Bjorn legged him up in the last, I think, no, second leg, because he didn't make the last. I said to Bjorn, I said, why did Bjorn find him? And two, I said, Bjorn, take that thing in his hand off. It's just extra weight, mate. You don't need it.
Very good, Dal.
But who would you rather put on? Me own a horse. You and me own a good horse. It's Saturday morning. We're getting a Brown from Singapore the night before. Adam Hieronymus.
Yeah.
Hieronymus. What is this? I know he's there with a busted shoulder, man, but I'm telling you,
Should be still riding.
he's my next gun.
Okay.
Adam Hieronymus. I'm telling you.
Next
And
time.
then he'll become a great rider. I'll do my balls on him all the time. Big hello to you, Adam. Thanks very much, mate, for ruining me before it happens.
And
We're
1 point to T Berry, because he's
Yeah.
the usual suspect.
Why
For
not?
Canna.
Oh,
For Judea.
yeah, various different, various. Oh well, you can just put in plenty of them on Saturday. And for the fact that he stripped Glenn and
We
I
used to be
Denver.
so
But the only one.
berry. We loved the berries, and then we lost the 4 Nathan. Now we hate the berries. Berry.
Well, there's only one. So
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, we've got time
it's
for a
like
quill.
concentration, yeah.
Bring.
I've got a slogan for you today.
What is it?
Slogans.
Two
Up
chicks,
in
one.
distance, up in barrier. Down in distance, down in barrier.
Up in distance. What do you mean? A wider barrier?
Yeah.
Up in barrier. Down in distance. Down in barrier. Yeah,
And the
go.
reason, because up in distance, slower pace. You need a wider barrier to stay out of that shit fight that's going on with slow pace.
Back in distance,
faster
pressure
pace.
sucking.
You settle.
Casino dancer. There she was.
Good project. Up in distance, back in
Inside.
barrier. Wow. There he was. You know, like he was like he
That's
wasn't.
a great call. And it makes map sense to my mind.
Yeah. And I suppose, watching him run, you could see he just didn't quite settle that great, did he?
Well, he was. Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't a slowly run race, but it was still
Yes.
slower
But
than, slower than the race he'd been in previously.
He didn't just drop straight into the bridle or whatever
Well,
that
it's a great
There was
Go on,
always the other question that he could have been flattened by a very, very hard run.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
And he did race flat.
Yeah, it's great commentary by Aaron today. It's been a good show. I just want to say, team, I still love you. Stay solid. And thanks for the cock grab there. That was enjoyable. That's my first charade into homosexuality. I might drop off right there. I don't know if to say that because until we met us today.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with homosexuality if it suits you. It's not for me, that's not.
How many gay jockeys?
That's now that's something we're going to get out there.
I don't know.
Have we had any gay jockeys?
Are we allowed to tell us know some stories?
No, I'm just trying to think. Oh yeah.
Who?
Well,
We're still
I'm sure somebody we're catching up with later on could probably let us know all about it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
No.
Alright, is that the end of the show, guys? It's been a pretty exciting show. Thanks for joining us here at Pier 1, and I want a big thank you to Aaron for doing such a big effort to come.
And being a huge contributor to the show.
He's doing a good job of the show. Anyway, that's it for me.
Nice haircut.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.